expect from it this week. Real quick, I'm going to read some of these out. Norway, Quebec, New York City, Nigeria again, Jamaica. Good to have all you guys in here. Let's get started. I won't keep you guys waiting any longer. So I'm going to go ahead and share up here.
Sunday Market Blitz.
That's right. Hell yeah, guys.
Let's get it.
Need some sort of action on Sunday these days, right?
Let's get it. Yeah, we need something.
Okay. Something, right?
Give me something out here.
All right. So, all right. So straight to DXY, guys. So as most of you guys know, if you've been on any of these live sessions, or any of our live sessions, including the Sunday Market Blitz, we'll always take a look at DXY first. So this essentially just shows the strength of the US dollar, which makes up for 80% of all trade in the Forex market. It is also considered the reserve currency of the world because of its stability. So there is a lot of investor interest into it usually anyway. So just good to know. Couple quick facts about DXY. It is very, very influential on the rest of these major currency pairs. Okay. So as this moves, you'll see some movement relatively on a lot of majors and so on. All right. So let's go ahead, zoom out. We're on the daily time frame here. First thing I want to do is get an idea of the overall sentiment and kind of identify the trend and see if anything has changed on this time frame alone. Okay, so we can see that it's clearly bullish, right? Past price action is super, super bullish. That was the overall trend, right? Bullish trend. Clearly, higher highs, higher lows, very clear to see. Now, this was bullish as long as it remained above this monthly here, but we saw a lot of bearish pressure, kind of pushing price action lower and lower through major levels, through patterns, price action came back, formed structure, continued lower, so much bearish momentum. It actually broke this monthly zone right here, which was our key monthly support, right? So from here, we're in a new zone. We want to make sure this is a confirmed break of this, and that this is a confirmed new bearish trend, new transition into a new range between this monthly and this weekly. So, how do we confirm that? And that is confirmed by a lower high, right? So we want to see some sort of pullback, some sort of lower high below this resistance, this 95, area, this huge monthly zone, some sort of confirmation, something that's going to say, price action rejected here, tried to push back up, but the bears are still very much in control. And that's what a lower high essentially is. So we want to see either some sort of pullback, right? Confirm lower high, then a continuation to the downside, or, momentum may not be done yet. Yeah, a bearish momentum may not have, exhausted itself yet. So it'll continue to push down in the short term until we find some sort of support within this range, or maybe all the way even down here. It could take, this whole push down to the weekly to then finally establish support. Then we could expect a pullback. But from right now, we don't really have, if we go to the 4 hour, we don't really have anything that's saying that we're going to have a pullback. Yeah, we have a little bit of bullish momentum here, but, lower time frame structure, you need to get above this zone right here before we start, getting closer to this monthly. So it's still very much in a downtrend, and the momentum's still very much there again until we see this lower time frame transition. And then we could look for reversals around this monthly where this lower high should be on the daily time frame. But if this continues lower, just keeps pushing lower and lower, pretty much not forming any higher time frame structure, and just gives us this, crazy strong trend. Look for, again, significant support levels around full number, psychological levels, and then obviously this weekly. But for right now, you're definitely bullish on the daily time frame and every other, time frame below this. It's super, super bearish. So, with that being said, we can move on to other pairs. We've analyzed this. We'll take this analysis into consideration once we move over to some of our other pairs, right? We know it's bearish. We know what has to happen for this to continue bearish and for this to, continue to or switch to the upside. And that would be a huge break of 96.5, right? For us to even consider any long opportunities, we want to see a break back into this range and then some sort of higher low above 96.5. So that's very unlikely as of where we are right now. So this is definitely, this blue trade path, this bearish idea is definitely our bias as of right now. So let's move on to AU. All right, first thing we want to do, daily time frame, same exact thing, or same exact way we just started off on DXY. You want to come over to the daily time frame, establish the overall trend, see if anything has changed, right? Super bearish, very, very bearish as we can see. This was the last lower high before Corona spike happened, and then price action just dropped off. Then we saw this huge pullback, nice strong 4 hour trend. And then we saw significant resistance around this monthly, which lines up right where that prior lower high was. And this was considered bearish until the zone was broken. And then we finally saw that zone break, right? So now we can drop time frames. We can clearly see that this 4-hour trend had the strength to break the zone and cause a daily transition. So it's pushing to the upside now, and now we're dropping to the lower time frames to potentially get in on an early entry or very precise entry. So we saw that it broke. First, what do we want to do once we see a significant level has broken? We want to look for those, in this scenario, a high or low, some sort of confirmation that this is broken into the new zone, and this has the the conviction to continue with this trend. So here it was, significant break of the monthly, pulled back, gave us that higher low. And then this blue zone represents lower time frame structure where, a transition presented itself. It broke out, tested as support, started pushing higher, kind of ran out of steam. You could see how low volume these candles are, but it's still kind of trickling up. Fell down pretty sharply, formed some structure here, pushed up to a new high. And now pulled back again. So it's kind of building up here. This is more or less like, volume's picking up. This thing could be getting ready to pop pretty soon. And right now we're at a pretty good spot, right? We're at the 61.8 fib level. This is pretty much what we want to see. This is a golden level. I really want to see consolidation happen, give these MAs a chance to kind of catch up. Then we start seeing some bullish setups, which we can then enter on, once all the confirmations are there. So if we see a nice bullish engulfing off this level, cross through the MAs, nice little lower time frame transition, that would be enough to then enter on. And this could be a really, really good trade because our first target is only here, 73.5. Excuse me. So this thing could go much higher, especially if it's really playing into a higher time frame move. So if this is the start of a large daily push, this thing could continue up until to higher time frame resistance levels like this weekly and so on and so on. So from this 4-hour time frame, it's looking pretty good, pretty much as best as we could want it to look, as with everything happening recently with this break retest, a couple of retests here, going to get a nice double bottom potentially. That'd be really nice. So we could see a nice long setup coming off this level pretty soon. And we'll keep you guys updated in the premium analysis so you guys can get a head start and stay up to date with what we're seeing on AU. Okay, so this is definitely our bias for now, definitely favoring this long opportunity. But again, I like to give you guys both sides of the market. So what needs to happen for us to start looking at short opportunities? I want to see a break of this monthly, a significant break of this monthly back into this lower range, and then confirmed again through a lower high and then bearish setups. And then we can start, once we see this happen, a break, pullback, then we'll start looking for potential short opportunities. But again, we're way above the support. Nothing here yet is suggesting, bearish volume. So yeah, we're just going to stick with the trend, ride the trend, hopefully get in on a pretty good trade with a great risk to reward. I will even give you guys this potential markup here. So just over 200 pips. Just for the visual aspect, here you guys are. This actually could be a really, really great trade because again, take a look here. This is almost a 4-to-1, or basically is a 4-to-1. Where's the 50 pips to get 200? Let's just call it that for now. Let me just adjust this for you guys. All right, so 4-to-1 risk reward. That's amazing. Right, stop loss is well protected outside this lower time frame structure. It would be then below this higher low. 2 confirmations is a trend line there. You could count that as well. But pretty much, this could be a very, very great trade. Okay, so 4-to-1, 200, risking 50 pips to get potentially 200. All right, we'll keep you guys up to date on that. AU, looking good. All right, let's move on to the next one. AJ, okay. Let's go to the daily time frame first. Same thing, like we just covered on DXY and AU. Higher time frame sentiment, we're trying to establish that and then see if anything has changed. So super bearish, as we can see, very, very bearish. Here was a break of that bearish channel. It actually broke, hit this monthly, and then tested the trend line as support right in this area here around 72.5. Okay, but before Corona, this was that lower high that was established right at the monthly, and then it finally pushed. Here's that strong 4-hour trend, bullish trend here. This entire retracement is basically a 4-hour trend, and push back up to this monthly. So we didn't break this monthly yet. We're actually right below it. So let's drop time frames. So technically, this is still very much bearish on the daily time frame until this month is broken. Okay, but that is, you can't ignore the fact that this is a very, very strong 4-hour bullish trend, right? Even though that we did get such a quick reversal from this area, head and shoulders pattern, reversed pretty sharply from the monthly, came back down and then started forming this little ascending triangle here. Finally broke again, rejected from the monthly once more. and then, pulled back to the top of this triangle right at 75 flat, which is now acting as significant support. So, this thing keeps getting closer and closer to this monthly, which, it looks like it's weakening this monthly. There are definitely more buyers in this market right now than sellers. So, we're going to continue with this long bias and just kind of play it as we see it, because especially now, we can see this 4-hour box pattern, rectangle pattern, whatever you want to call it. We saw this bit of consolidation happening right here around the 88.6 and, between the 61.8 and 78.6. This is where this box was formed. It was just consolidating. It was ranging pretty dramatically, and then it finally broke. So this is that pop. That zone finally broke. Now it's retesting the top of this pattern as well as these MAs, and could be gearing up for a nice, bullish leg back up into this monthly zone, which we'll be ready for. So essentially from this point, you want to look for lower time frame confirmations, 1 hour, 30-minute, looking for bullish setups, bullish engulfings, bullish variations, morning stars, something like that, to then enter on. And then, your trade setup could be, protect yourself with your stop loss outside the higher low, outside the MAs, and then target higher towards, the prior high right around 76.90 area. And this could be a really good trade as well. This one's 5-1, so you could even, bring it below this significant support level at 75 flat and still have a really great trade here. So 2-1, 70 pips, risking 70 pips to get about 140. That could be a great trade. Very conservative. You're just waiting for those right confirmations. Okay, so this is definitely looking more long than anything else. But again, what needs to happen to then consider short positions? We need to see a break of 75 flat. And then ideally, we'd like to see some sort of lower high again, confirmed by bearish setups. So our bias is definitely long as of right now. Nothing that price action is showing us is hinting at bearish volume over bullish volume. So that's where we're gonna stay with our bias with our trade idea as of right now. Looking long on AJ. All right, so that's pretty good so far. Let's move along to UJ. Interesting enough, this one's actually setting up to be a pretty big move potentially. But let's go ahead to the daily again. All right, so what are we doing on the daily? Identifying overall sentiment, seeing if anything has changed. So just off the bat, guys, I want to show you that this is a giant descending triangle. Key support right here at 106, right at 106. Key support, major level. We've seen rejection from this level many, many times, right? But we keep getting all these lower highs, hence the pattern, the descending triangle, right? So it keeps squeezing price action. Price action is getting more narrow, until, right here, where we saw a bit of a range formed, right between 109.25 and this 106 level as support, right? Lots of ranging. Rejection there, bounce here, rejection here, and so on and so on. So let's drop to the 4-hour, get a better look at price action. Okay. Definitely bearish overall, as we know. So this was that final rejection from 109, pushed down, bounced again, didn't come all the way back up, right? It kind of came halfway through this range and then formed a descending triangle, broke a support, gave us some ranging on this lower time frame here. And then it finally gave us a lower high and then dropped off the face of the earth, right? Blew right through our major level at 106, our monthly zone, which was that huge daily zone, right? This level acted as support very significantly for a lot of time, long period of time, rejected here, right? So how do we know that this level is truly broken? Well, we don't know yet, but we know what we're looking for, to confirm that. So we're here on the 4-hour. Basically, what we want to see to confirm this as a significant break, especially on a daily time frame, that this is going to continue lower, is a rejection at this level, right? And this is a huge confluence level for a lot of reasons. This is the monthly zone we just talked about. We need to see a lower high here to confirm this break. The 61.8 fib level is there as well. It's a nice psychological level. The 200 EMA is above this. There's a lot going on here that's, that could make or break this move, this bearish move that we're expecting, right? So basically from here, maybe a little bit of consolidation we could see, and then some sort of, transition, lower time transition, and then strong bearish setups on the 4-hour to then confirm this is a lower high. We could then enter on that and then target much lower, pretty much all the way down towards this -27 and weekly zone. So this could be a really huge move, but again, you can't mess this up because this is going to be a large move. You really want to make sure that you enter on those confirmations. So be patient with this, guys. This could be a really big move, and we really just want to make sure that it's going to be confirmed. Okay, so this is what the trade would look like. Let's call it to the weekly. 270 pips. You know, and we're going to be risking about, you can even call it 100 pips. Like, it doesn't even need to be this high, but I would probably put it here just outside this monthly, right around 70 pips, 65 pips, something like that. And this is a 4-to-1 risk reward. You know, great risk reward here, guys. So, you know, I'll be patient on this. If I could get a 4-to-1 risk reward trade this week, you know, I'm not going to be in any rush. I'm just going to wait for this to play out. And if you catch a trade like this, a 4-to-1 once a week, that is absolutely amazing. So, you know, really want to just make sure that this confirms this as a lower high, and then we get in on that lower time frame transition. So we'll be risking about, again, 65 pips to get about like 275, something like that. Well over 4-to-1 risk reward. Okay, so this trade's looking pretty good. A lot of volume, right? We just need to see this kind of stop here, run out of steam here, and then, you know, make a transition back down. Okay, so that's UJ. Let's go ahead and move on to EJ. Daily time frame first. Again, same exact thing, identifying sentiment, seeing if anything has changed. Super bearish. As we can see, this is probably the largest channel that we're going to look at tonight. Lots and lots of volume here, pretty steep, but then obviously it's clear that this is a bearish channel. So the overall sentiment is clearly bearish, or at least it was until we saw a break of 121.25. So this is a daily transition, guys. So we see a lot of rejection from 116.5, right? A lot of lower highs are then broken here as this rally happens, right? Including this lower high here, broken, pulls back, tests the trend line of this bearish channel, you know, as well as like some structure and MAs and in this area too. And then it continues higher, right? Keeps pushing higher, a nice leg to the upside, confirming that this is a higher low and that this is a daily transition. So all these lower highs are then broken, and this is now full swing, bullish trend on the daily time frame. Okay, so that's really nice to see. We can then drop to the 4-hour, and obviously the 4-hour will be bullish as well. So now we're just going to look for long opportunities. There's nothing here. We know that there's a total absence of bears. There is no selling pressure as of right now, and this is just, you know, moving up in a nice bullish trend pretty cleanly. So from the current level, we're looking for, you know, long opportunities. We saw a nice little triangle, symmetrical triangle form right here, broke to the upside, hit, you know, formed 0%, and now it's coming back, right? So this is going to give us a trade opportunity because we want to enter on a golden fib level. 38.2 is pretty much right here. It looks like it's going to pass it. So our next zone is going to be this 61.8 fib level, and then this structure that we saw break here. So anywhere in this yellow zone is where we're looking to enter. Could be like this. You can see wicks to the downside, body closure at 61.8. Anything in there we're looking to enter on. Okay. So this would be then a higher low, confirmed by bullish setups, you know, MA cross, bullish engulfing, Morningstar again, bullish variation. We'll be entering on that and then targeting towards our negative 61% fib level and this monthly zone up here. So this could be a really great trade, especially with how much momentum this has. It seems very likely as of right now. You know, we're more than halfway through this range. You know, a nice little pullback after a broken pattern, and then a nice strong, you know, bullish leg to the upside is very likely. So this is what it would look like. Looking to get about 230 plus pips, and we're going to move our stop loss outside the, you could even move it outside the entire pattern itself, and that would be a 2-to-1 minimum. So about 120 pips to get, you know, 240 roughly. But I would even choke. I would even bring it up a little bit, right? I'd be outside this higher low, especially if it's confirmed. You know, I'd be looking at 3.5 to 1 risk to reward, something like that. Okay, you can make it a 3-0 if you want, or 3-to-1. So another very high risk to reward trade. This week is definitely looking like it's setting up a lot of good positions, at least on the pairs I've analyzed so far. So yeah, this could be really good. Really nice trade setting up for EJ. And again, this will be posted in premium analysis later tonight. This one seems to be the closest to entry out of all the pairs I've covered. But yeah, pretty textbook trade, guys. Breakout, retest, continuation. I'll play that 10 out of 10 times. Okay, so let's move on to our last pair, at least the one that I've prepared for you guys, which is gold. Okay, so what do we want to do? Daily time frame. Bullish trend. Has anything changed? Absolutely not. Gold is in one hell of a rally, and we're only looking at long opportunities. So let's drop down and get right into the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so what I had done here on this daily time frame is fib this swing. We can clearly see that no structures formed, right? This thing has just been kind of mooning, if you will, just kind of surging to the upside, skyrocketing, jumped on a SpaceX rocket and just hasn't looked back yet. And now this thing is kind of forming an ascending triangle all the way up around 1975 area, and then like 1925 to 1975. It's forming this giant pattern here, right? There's a lot of volume in this pattern, and it's very, very bullish. So there's a couple ways this could play out. Either the momentum is not dying off, and this thing is just going to keep surging higher and higher until we establish some sort of key resistance, and then we'll plot a new fib from there and look for some sort of reversal, and kind of just wait on that. Or we could see some sort of pullback at the current level, where we'll then look for golden structure to form at golden fib levels, which would be our 38.2 or 61.8, which is down at this weekly. And these blue arrows kind of just highlight that. We want to see some sort of pullback. These are the pullback options, obviously, the 38.2, 61.8. And then this is the scenario where momentum just keeps pushing price action higher and higher until, again, resistance is formed. So, we're waiting on gold, guys. This has been crazy movement for gold. We actually haven't seen a rally like this in quite a while. So we went straight from 1,800 to almost 2K. So, I mean, we got to give this thing a chance to breathe. We need structure to form before we can make a accurate high probability trade. So gold's kind of on the bench for now, guys. But this is what we're looking at. Okay. So quick recap. I went over DXY, AU. Wow, this thing's actually coming up right now. Look at that. I covered DXY, AU, AJ, UJ. Wow. Boom, right through EJ and gold. All right. So it looks like we got some early Sunday volume, but we'll see how it plays out. So I'm going to pass this off to Angelo. He's going to cover some more majors for you guys. And yeah, thanks. So
yeah, let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and share up my screen. So again, as we can see, let's pull up DXY again real quick. So DXY, at the very least, as Nick went over, it's very bearish.
Wait, we're looking at your conversation with Allison. So.
My bad. All right, let's go. All right, so as we can see with DXY, it's very bearish overall. Very bearish right here, but at the least, like we bump up to the daily time frame, bump up to the weekly time frame. We're very overextended. Last week closed, a lot of exhaustion. It's good to, or it's not terrible to assume that we're gonna have a pullback now. But the thing is, we got to see structure start to break. We're not trying to make assumptions. We're not in the game of making assumptions out here. At the very least, this 1 hour needs to start to break, which right now it's testing this level. The 1 hour needs to break this level, and obviously needs to hold above this level. So tonight is going to be a good night to see how this kind of plays out. If this starts to break above, close, following candle, closes above, then as I start to look at, we'll get into GU first. Then as I start to get a look at these pairs, like these pairs are very overextended as well. GU is very overextended. Closed last week with this hammer candle, at the top of this bullish push, reversal candle right there. And on the weekly time frame, overall, we're very bearish in the sense that we had this low, lower high, low. Now we're retesting these highs right now, back in this exhaustion zone. And then let's just cycle through time frames. Daily time frame, bullish. 4 hour time frame, obviously very bullish. And this is really the time frame that we need to see some sort of break of structure, something to happen to take advantage of GU. And it's really all the way down here. We would need to see this level break, followed by some sort of retest, some sort of lower high. So GU is a little ways away from really any sort of trade this week. It's not too high on my list, but just looking at structure, we could see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Now we're all the way at this high. Price could bump into, like, bounce all the way in these areas. We're not exactly in like really nice confirmation area like on the weekly time frame right now. I've got my monthly level up here, up in this zone. That's where I'm looking for things to retest. That's where a lot of orders previously were placed. You know, right now we are in this like 4-hour supply zone right here. If I were to draw this out, but the confirmations here aren't too many. So if I were to draw this out and drag this across, drawn from the wick to the body of the following candle, we are in this supply zone right here, and that's where we're seeing some rejection. You know, we're getting some sellers to step in. This is where previously price fell off pretty hard. But again, there's no setup at the moment on GU. You know, we got to be a little patient unless we were trying to attack this, even all the way down to the 30-minute time frame right here. You know, I would still need to see some sort of structure break in. This thing has just been very bullish. This is sort of just the pullback right now, and coming hard off that zone. So GU, nothing doing this week. But as we get into these pairs, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. So UCAD, all the way up on this weekly time frame, the sentiment for us has been bullish. We had formed this high, pulled back. Now we're retesting this low right here, this daily support zone, this trend line that we previously found a ton of buyers in. Had this doji form last week on the weekly time frame. And as we just cycle down time frames, like to do some candlestick analysis just because we got multiple confirmations here. We've got this daily bullish engulfing candle. And what does that break down to is we've got pretty nice, you know, clean transition on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour time frame, right here, we've just got some lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high formed. And then we got the break. Boom. This is now the retest right here. We could bring on a fib. Retested 618 area. So we're finding some support in that area. But we need some closure. We need some closure higher. And this is going to correlate with DXY. If DXY starts to pop up higher, close, following candle closes, this thing will show us some sort of buying opportunity in this area. We can put our stops below this low. And then as we bump up time frames, we can target, you know, this level first, the 200-day, then all the way up to this monthly level. And we can see, you know, we've got a lot of exhaustion right now to the downside. You know, we're definitely popping on, moving averages crossed on this 4 hour, but we need DXY to confirm first before we really get in on this. DXY is going to really tell us how strong the dollar really is. So yeah, this is something that I'm more closely monitoring right now, UCAD. So I'm going to put this on my watch list. I'll put this in the premium analysis, and we'll take a look. We'll see, you know, if this does confirm higher over the next 2-3 hours or so. And if the trade confirms, we'll put this in the signals chat. Let's go over to NU. We're seeing something very similar. We got the weekly time frame. So all the way up to the weekly time frame, we're bearish. We've got this trend line. We've got this supply zone. Last week formed this hammer candle at the top of this bullish push. So obviously signs of reversal right there. And then I just start to cycle down time frames. Daily time frame, you know, large bullish engulf or bearish engulfing candle. That's what we're looking at. And then 4 hour time frame. This is what we really need. We need this 4 hour to break and hold, you know, right here. And then we need some sort of pullback in this area. Unless we were to enter in some sort of breakout style entry, you know, we would be entering in this area, but it would be tough. We'd have to put stops really above this trend line, above this 200-day moving average. This is a tough trade to squeeze out right now and to get into. But again, you know, on this daily time frame, we're getting that bearish engulfing at the weekly confirmation, supply zone, trend line. And then as I hit, let's just stick on the 4 hour. The 4 hour has been bullish, forming highs, high or low. Retest the high, high or low. And we came up. We hit this high right here, high or low. Hit this high, high or low. Made a new high, and now we're falling pretty hard. So, you know, if DXY confirms for us, this could definitely be a potential trade that we get into. That we'd be comfortable with getting involved in this week. But we gotta wait and see how these things play out. And again, this is just because this 4 hour time frame is breaking all the way down to the 1 hour. This is also a 1 hour level. so, support zone, high or low. It's also a 1 hour that we would need to break as well. So the confirmations here are going to be plenty. We just have to be a little bit patient. We don't want to be too aggressive on this. So I'm going to move this one up. This one's also going to be on my watch list. Let's go over to EU. Start all the way up on the weekly time frame. So EU is literally in no man's land right now. Had this huge move upwards. In my analysis that I put out for the week, all the free analysis in here, we look at EU. In my analysis, I talked about how we popped up above this weekly level. We could potentially just start to consolidate in here. Right now, we could see some consolidation right now, and then we could continue even higher realistically, or we could start to pull back. But we can't get into any sort of trade unless we start to see breaks of structure. So again, start on the weekly time frame, got my monthly and weekly levels. I can see structure on this weekly time frame, obviously very bullish, but last week a lot of exhaustion here, so showing some signs of reversal. Down to the daily, very bullish, but again, this is what we're seeing, that bearish engulfing candle. That was that huge wick. And then we just keep going down time frames. I'm going to go all the way down to the 1 hour. And the 1 hour is really where we're seeing, where we need to see something happen. We need this, at the least, we need this to break. This is 1 hour structure. And see how 1 hour structure has been maintained all the way up. This high or low, this high, retest this high or low, this high or low, this high, retest this high or low. All the way up. Boom, 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 boom. Now we're all the way up in this area. This needs to hold. So we're about to get one of two situations. Either DXY is going to shit and it's going to respect that level. It's going to just start rejecting hard off of it, or it's going to hold. And then we're going to get, the confirmation we need to trade. Because again, we're not trading fundamentally. We're not trading based on, we're not trying to guess. We're trying to wait for an actual confirmation, an actual lower high. And we're looking to get in on it. The same way in this uptrend, we were trying to get in on higher lows, which we took advantage of on, GU, getting in on higher lows. The same way on the downside. We're not trying to enter here in a short and then this thing fly to the upside. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to wait till this thing breaks, pull back, entry at that lower high where the sellers step in and confirm the trend, and then we take this thing lower. So that is a situation that we've got going on in EU. So we'll move that up. Let's go over to USEF. And USEF's another one. So we've got all the way up on the weekly time frame with USEF. We can even go up to the monthly, just do some top-down analysis. And another thing that you guys want to be aware of is it just became August. 1, NFP is this week. 2, the monthly candles closed for all of these pairs. All of these pairs, the monthly candles closed. GU, this monthly candle closed, very bullish. Got the cross the moving averages. EU, closed, very bullish. So this is confirming that all of this data, all this information for us, this is confirming how last month went for all these pairs on USEF. And again, the monthly time frame is really only for one look, do like candlestick analysis, and then also sentiment. So on this, red over blue, overall, very bearish. Where are we? We are at the bottom. We're at the bottom of this trend. We could see some sort of retracement here. We're at this monthly key level. Going over to the weekly time frame. Boom, weekly time frame obviously has been bearish. We've been covering this, all the way since March. We've been covering all these short opportunities, and it's played out pretty well. And now we're seeing a pullback. Could be similar to this. Could be this minor pullback here and dump off. And that's why we don't want to get too trigger happy right now. We don't want to buy. You know what I'm saying? Just based on where we're at this low. We need confirmation, guys. We need to confirm a 1 hour trend. Ideally, we need to wait for a nice high to be formed, nice high or low, long. That's what we really need to wait for. And really need DXY. DXY is going to really tell us everything we need to know. DXY right now could pop up. Let's try to move. Yeah, DXY right now could pop up to this monthly level. And let's just take a look at why is this monthly level there. We look left. We've got resistance. So obviously this level was tested as resistance before. This level was tested as support. And then these wicks, tons of wicks at this level. So whenever prices come to this level, we've either rejected to the downside, rejected to the upside, rejected to the upside. Here we flew to the upside from this level. So all this tells us is a lot of orders are about to come into the market in either direction. Either it's going to fling us north or it's going to send us south, and we got to be ready. We got to be ready either direction it sends us. We can't be guessing out here. We do got to be mindful though, the daily time frame. What I like to do is I like to look at previous situations. You know, look here. We were hitting off that weekly level. We go down to the 1 hour, and we were looking for that up. We're like pretty much right here right now in our current trend. We're pretty much right here. We're at a key level. We're seeing a pullback. This is 1 hour structure. We had this lower high. We had this lower high, had this low. Then all of a sudden, this thing started to pull back, and this happened. We broke this level, and we didn't just buy off the break. Because if we bought off the break, stops would have been down here, you know, at 100 pips, whatever, it's DXY. And our targets, you know, what would they have been? And I'm talking about like on pairs we actually trade, USEP, GU. We don't actually trade DXY, but it's just for structure. But now it came down all of a sudden, comes through the moving averages right there, boom. And what happens? Find support again at this weekly level. And this is when we start to go to the upside. We start to go to the upside, and inevitably this thing keeps going and forms this new high in here. So the point is though, we need to wait on DXY right now. We need DXY to make its move. We drag this across, see how it found support there. When this is all going down, this climb, this correlates with these USD pairs. UCAD's most likely going long. You know, NU is most likely finding, you know, support going long. EU is probably going down. GU is probably going down because DXY is getting, you know, it's getting long in this situation. So if we just go to where price is right now and we keep that situation in mind, we need a lot more confirmation right now. We're still bearish on this. You know, we're still bearish until we see, you know, this thing breaks, maybe even get above this level up here on DXY. And yeah, so we just gotta be patient. We got UJ coming up back in this area. Let's go last but not least. I just want to cover GJ. So let's hit up GJ. Let's go all the way up to the weekly time frame. This thing flew last week at the end of the week, which was a little unexpected, but you know, based on where we are now, again, check the monthly time frame. What happened? Huge bullish candle, closed above the moving averages. Momentum right now is fairly bullish. You know, momentum is very bullish right now. To just short at this point is very stupid. You know, we need to wait to see what goes on. And to long. We want to long on higher lows, guys. Let's go down last week. You know, what was the trade that we get in on? It was all the way down here. It was at this 4 hour higher low. Now we're all the way at a high. So we need some sort of pullback. We need a pullback in this area. Again, this thing could just continue higher right now. This thing could continue to go higher, could continue to climb. But we can't trade it unless we see some sort of pullback. So for you guys worrying about entries, worrying about where to enter, stuff like that, it's on higher lows. We're entering here, waiting for the push. Entering here, waiting for the push. Even down here, you know, we're entering on these lower highs. Lower high, looking to enter there, looking to enter here. Then we break, you know, find higher lows. So again, entries and downtrends are on lower highs. Entries and uptrends, always on higher lows. Any explication why USD is going up? I mean, fundamentally, there's a lot that's driven this market. Luckily, for everyone that's in this premium channel, we have this fundamental analysis chat. What we do is every day we'll post 2 fundamental analysis in here, but we're actually about to pick this up even more right now. So obviously there's fundamental reasoning as to why USD is making its moves the way that it is. And, you know, for us and for the members, we're going to update that inside of this chat this week. Right now, we've just got the calendar of certain events that we should look out for. going into this week. And again, just to reiterate, we're going to have NFP on Friday. So Friday is going to be a big day for sure.
Expected volatility, guys. So we'll probably steer clear of that as we do with any other Friday, but even more so with this news event being on that day.
Oh yeah. So just to recap, I did a bunch of pairs: UCAD, NU, EU, and all these looking fairly similar. We're looking for similar things right now. We're really in decisive areas right now. We're gonna have to make decisions soon on getting into some entries. And then GU, USAF not quite near entries, and GJ is not quite near entries either. So I'm gonna update all of these in our premium analysis section. And all this premium analysis is, Nick went over this, is when we find lower time frame breaks of structure, that's when we're trying to get in on entries. We're waiting for the pullbacks, waiting to enter. That's when we throw them in the premium analysis. That's like the step before signals. The premium analysis is only $7. It's just a one-time fee of $7. So these live sessions are free. If you guys want to build on these live sessions, the premium analysis is, the next step up. We'll update them after the live sessions and throughout the day whenever we see opportunities, start to unfold. And then we'll put, all the signals will be put in this chat for the week. So this is where all the signals will go. And we're obviously excited for another week. There's going to be some opportunities here. Just got to get on the right side, of the markets. And we went over a lot here. We're always open to feedback from you guys. And as always, this is recorded and it's going to be posted afterwards. There are no promotions or giveaways going on today. Normally we got that going on. Just enjoying, again, a little bit of wine here. But if you guys have any questions to kind of finish up the session, we could take, a couple minutes. You can post your questions in the chat. We can get on with those. We can access the fundamental analysis also. Yeah, the $7 program is just, or actually no, it doesn't include the fundamental analysis. Comes with signals. So fundamental analysis, we like to pride ourselves on, we like to over deliver. So with signals, we offer a little bit more than people realize. It comes with a full course, comes with fundamental course. There's like over 10 lessons on that. With the signals, comes with trade reviews that we do every week. And it comes with obviously some lessons actually inside of that course as well. And the main thing with signals is we're trying to teach you guys to worry about percentages with your account, grow your account, basing every single trade, risking 1% to 2%. Don't be worrying about the pips, stuff like that. How much is this signal?
It pretty much teaches you proper risk management, the whole signals course.
Yes. US Tech 100. We don't follow US Tech 100. We could throw in, I know you guys love the bonus pair.
Yeah, right? It's like a thing. The bonus pair. How much is the signal fee on the premium analysis? The premium analysis is only $7.
Yeah, the premium analysis is only $7. So this is actually good thing to look at right now. So US 30 is on this daily time frame, showing a lot of exhaustion off this 200-day. This thing, remember guys, this thing is overall bullish. This thing's been bullish based on this monthly. Overall, things been very bullish for quite some time now. Did take this deep dip right here in March. But this is US 30, top 30 industrial companies. Like, this thing is pretty bullish. Right now, we're getting some exhaustion to the downside right now. No sorts of bullish confirmations. Can you tip us a bit on fundamental news? I'm a bit confused. Yeah, so all this is let me go into the fundamental chat. All this is every single day there are high impact news events that are coming out. We in this chat basically break those down for you every single day. Right now we were doing 2. We're actually about to bump this up to 4 pairs a day. So if you guys want to learn more about the reports that are coming out and what they actually mean to the economies that are being featured here, we will expand on those reports and we'll tell you guys what exactly is going on in each of them. So I'm not going to sit here and read through them right now. You guys can check out the replay if you want some like of these free ones right here. You just kind of read through what's going on. But in here, it's obviously talking about a lot of the key indicators that are going to drive some of these economies, and there's a lot to be learned.
So like each week, there's a lot of news going on around the world. It's every economy. There's different news events happening all over the world, right? So essentially, what we do is we'll take a look at all of them. We'll figure out which ones are important. We'll kind of filter out all the crap for you guys and present to you guys what could potentially, move the markets this week, what you should be made aware of this week, and pretty much just bringing to light all the major things that you need to be looking at for that particular week. And then each day we'll kind of update those, let you guys know what happened, how things played out, what certain, chairman said at the Fed and so on and so on.
Let's go through like one example here. Is last week we had this fundamental analysis for the US dollar. US dollar has been weakening against JPY during the last couple sessions. The reason for the long-term weakening of the dollar is the fact that the Reserve slashed their interest rate to 0%. We have another interest rate. So it's telling you there's another interest rate coming up this week. The predictions are that the Fed will leave the interest rate unchanged, which was confirmed. And in case they decide to slash their interest rate once again, that'll be really negative for the dollar, and we're going to see even more moves to the downside, especially against the yen. Obviously it didn't happen. At that point, the performance of the US dollar remains weak, even if they keep their rates unchanged for now. However, in the case they decide to raise their rates. So we're just giving you multiple different scenarios based on reports that are going to be coming out, how you can expect to interpret them. Again, it just kind of, some people want to learn more about fundamentals. Me and Nick trade with a lot of technically, we like to wait for our confirmations from a technical standpoint. But again, with the markets, the conditions that we are in, especially with coronavirus, global pandemic, goddamn, there's definitely reasons to keep up on different economies and what is going on.
Especially now more than ever, you guys, it's good to be aware of these news events because, as you guys have seen, anyone who's been trading for the last 4 months, certain things can really trigger the market, and you could see a lot of volume step in, a lot of volatility present itself based on, a huge move like, the Fed cutting rates to 0%, for example.
Right. So if you guys want to know, what are the different programs, our main program is normally $4.99. It includes the course, signals, one-on-one training, everything pictured here. It's in this start here section. And the signals, $75 per month. Right here, we do have a little promo for the signals that we're going to be doing this week. I'm going to announce it probably on Tuesday, so it's not available yet. If you guys just want to get in on the fundamentals and this premium analysis, $45. This is packaged, and then the premium analysis is just $7. These live sessions are completely free. They're all recorded and on YouTube. What we like to do here is just run through all the pairs that we're looking at. Sometimes we'll give free signals in these sessions. If you guys come into analysis here, you guys can see all of our analysis that we did this week. Just click on any of the ideas, and as the week unfolds, you can click this little play button right here, and you can see how things played out, based on what's happening. But if you guys want to join the team, if you're interested in getting more involved and getting actually into the group, then obviously what we suggest is the $4.99, this package. We've been running this discount here for a little while now, and if you guys are interested, you can hit me up, but it's on sale, $2.99. So we're running this for some spots. So if you guys want to get in on this and you're interested, just shoot me a message. This is definitely limited time, normal price, $4.99. So if you guys want to get in on it, you get the one-on-ones, get the webinars, get the full course. And it just comes down to me and Nick are actively trading, actively working hard in the markets, working hard to educate people. We're ahead of certain people. There's people ahead of us. There's people that are obviously that want to learn, that are just starting. If you're a beginner, intermediate, more advanced, there's something to be learned from not only us, but people inside of the course, other members. Everyone's actively sharing, and it's just community. That's why we created it. It's been really positive, and we'd be excited to have you guys on board. So if you're interested, just shoot us a message. We're gonna go ahead, wrap this up. There's no other questions on here. Hell yeah. Thank you for the support. Appreciate that. And
Yeah. So
okay, go ahead.
yeah, no, you said you're the best. So yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate that, guys. We love hopping on these sessions, and if you guys want to learn, jump in the community, reach out to us. But other than that, pretty much enjoy the weekend, guys. And I think our next live session, I know, is on Tuesday. I know
Yes,
it's on
live session
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, 8 a.m. EST. We'll catch you guys on there, and look out for the giveaways. Everything that's in there. A lot of free stuff going around as well. So stay active, stay a part of the community. Never know when another opportunity will present itself. So you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you guys on Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Peace.